I breathe free. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe free. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love. Standing and join me in the words of our covenant found on our screen. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its call. Let this be our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. Whoever you Leuchtenberger, and I get to serve as the settled minister of this caring, curious, and ever-evolving congregation. It is good to be here. Where you are.
Welcome to worship. So good to be with you this morning in person and online. My name is Dory LeCount, and I serve as the Family Engagement Coordinator for this music-loving, children-embracing congregation. We are here to support each other on our own and our shared journeys, centered in love, compassion, curiosity, courage, and joy. I'm especially happy to welcome first-time and returning visitors. If you are a visitor, we hope that you will find us a community eager to welcome you and respectful of the path that has brought you here this morning. Anyone wearing a colorful stole is glad to answer any questions that you may have. There is info written in the pew folders and at the visitors table for you to take with you. For our online participants, it would be wonderful if you introduced yourself on the chat so we know that you are here with us. Our church buildings are located on the traditional homelands of the Pennacook Abenaki people, past and present. We acknowledge and honor with gratitude the land and the people who have stewarded it for generations.
Thank you, Dory. For a complete listing of church events and news, check out our weekly e-bulletin. Yes, please be seated. I guess I forgot to say that somewhere along the way. Sorry about that. Check out our e-bulletin or a copy of Parish Notes, our monthly newsletter. Here are a few highlights.
Good morning. Immediately after service, we're going to have an info session about OWL. Come find out what we're all about, and I promise you it'll be quicker than 15 minutes. Come see me with questions, and Dory as well.
Our Whole Lives, our sexuality education program for 7th and 9th graders. So, yay. Sermon dialogue at 11:30 then with me in the parlor, chair yoga in the chapel led by Craig Whitson and Susan Casey. The Anxious Generation book discussion is in the Ken Thomas room, again led by Karen Cox. And our children's program for children ages 5 and up. Meet with the young explorers in the Armenia White Room. And our younger kids, as always, are welcome to stay in our Rainbow Room nursery. The Vagabond Theater for ages 8 and 13 is led by Sin Riley and will be in the Abenaki Room. Finally, at 12:30 is our community luncheon in Fellowship Hall. Thank you to the Contemplative Practice Group for hosting today's lunch. This evening at 7 p.m. right here is our drum circle. Love to see you there. And Tuesday, all are welcome to join our weekly welcome table dinner at 6 o'clock, a free conversation-rich meal of plant-based, low-packaging food with gluten-free options. On Thursday, drum roll please, we're going to have, there we go. Our choir is going to have an open choir sing. So if you've ever thought about, I don't know, choir's not really for me, but I might want to try this or just even have an experience, come to choir rehearsal, 7 o'clock. Everyone's welcome. We'll focus on some of the easier pieces that we're doing, like the Mozart Requiem that we're working on. Kidding aside, but yes, we're actually working on the Lacrimosa from the Mozart Requiem, but everything else will be very accessible, I believe, to everyone, and if you like the Mozart Requiem, please come as well. And if you are interested in learning more about literacy, music literacy for singers, come a little early, 6:30. Krista Robichaud will lead a music literacy session for singers in our chapel. And of course, on Thursday, it's a big day, well, several big days here. Window Dressers is starting their community build in our fellowship hall. So I think there's still ways to sign up for that. It's a great way to support our larger community. Also happens to be my birthday, but that's a secondary issue. Each, each week we light our chalice to set this time apart and to mark it as sacred. If you're at home and you have a candle or chalice ready, I invite you to light it now as Lorenzo lights our chalice here in the sanctuary. And as Lorenzo comes down, I'd like you to come on forward, Lorenzo. I'd like you to notice that our chalice lighter stole has been expanded. Now there is, come on forward if you're ready to go. Come on in here, come on over. So thanks to Linda Williams for adding a whole new slew of names and things here to the stole. Let's show this off here. Say ooh and ah. Ooh, yeah. So it's a whole, thank you. There we go. All right, Lorenzo, go ahead. Here you go. Great. Okay, let us sing. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, rise up, O flame, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. For over 15 years, our congregation has been proactive about how we address conflict and tension in our community. We have facilitators trained to guide us through compassionate listening sessions intended to make sure everyone's perspective is heard in times of disagreements. The goal is not uniformity of opinion, but the restoration of relationships. The process is called restorative circles. Anyone can call a circle, though first we are encouraged to address any conflict directly with the other person. And if that doesn't work out or doesn't feel safe enough, we're invited to bring a third person to the conversation, perhaps as a witness or perhaps to help facilitate the interaction. I have had many an opportunity to be in that role. Craig Whitson is one of our Restorative Circles facilitators. And during his training, he was inspired, I believe, to write a song about listening and really hearing each other with compassion as our guide. I hear you, I listen, we listen, you listen, and then we practice together with the compassionate hearts. Here's the choir sharing Craig's words and music. Choir, you know where to go.
Please repeat after me. It is a blessing to be.
It is a blessing to be.
It is a blessing to be here now.
It is a blessing to be here now.
It is a blessing to be here now together.
It is a blessing to be here now together. It was late in the afternoon on a busy city street, the kind of place where people scroll past one another, earbuds in, hearts guarded. A man had been attacked just outside the subway station. His phone was stolen, his bag torn, and he lay on the cold pavement, bruised, bleeding, and frightened. The first person to pass by was a local activist. She was known for her sharp words online, always calling for justice now. But when she saw the man, she hesitated. This neighborhood isn't really safe, she thought. Someone else will help. She kept walking. The second person was a church leader. He often preached about love, but the man on the ground was wearing a jacket that bore a logo of a political movement the pastor couldn't stand. He probably brought trouble on himself, he muttered, averting his gaze. He too passed by. Then came a man who many in the neighborhood avoided, and he wore a trucker's cap from a political rally that made some cringe. His accent marked him as an outsider. He didn't fit the tribe. But when he saw the injured man, he stopped. He knelt beside him. He used his own jacket to keep the man warm. He called for help. He waited with him, and when the ambulance came, he rode along. At the hospital, he paid for the man's phone to be replaced. He did not ask who the man had voted for. He did not ask where he went to church. He simply saw another human being in pain and crossed the invisible line that so many of us rarely dare to cross. The next day, as the man recovered, conscience came knocking, asking, who was a neighbor to the one who was hurt? The answer came quietly, like a truth we've always known. The one who had compassion. The story, of course, is a modern retelling of the Christian parable of the Good Samaritan. And it's not only about helping someone in need, it's about crossing tribal lines, political, cultural, religious, ideological, to act from the deeper place where our shared humanity lives. Samaritans and Jews had deep religious and ethnic hatred for each other. Jesus' audience, he was the one telling the parable, right, would have been shocked that the hero of the story is the despised outsider who shows compassion while the religiously correct people pass by. The bridge here is built through simple acts of care that transcend tribal loyalty. Who then is our neighbor? Whoever needs us, regardless of their political convictions. Bridge building often begins not with a debate, but with a hand reaching out. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our next hymn, number 1023, in our teal hymnal. This one is around, so we'll sing it once in unison, and then we'll do it in parts. Please be seated. Unless, of course, you are young at heart or young in age and would like to come forward for a time for all ages with Dory, bridging outside of our comfort zone. Come on forward. If you're in the balcony, come on forward wherever you might be. All right. We could use a few more young at heart people up front.
Beth, come on up here. This is my comfort zone. This is Beth's comfort zone. Looks like a hula hoop, but it's really a comfort zone. Your comfort zone is the place where you feel the most comfortable, where you feel safe, where you feel contained, where nothing is hard. When your comfort zone is the same or very close to the same as someone else's comfort zone, it's really easy to be friends. But when your comfort zone is really different than someone else's comfort zone, Beth, come a little bit closer. Don't go too far for now. It's harder to reach. I can't reach Beth. And in fact, I only eat vanilla ice cream, and Beth only eats chocolate ice cream, and I can't do it. I can't be friends with her. But I really like the dress she's wearing. I'm nervous about it, but I'm gonna take a little step outside my comfort zone. Oh, I don't think she saw me. Okay, I'm gonna try and build a bridge over to her. I'm gonna say something. Hello? Oh, she's looking at me. Okay, I'm gonna have to be a little more brave. I'm gonna call her house and ask her if she wants to play. You guys don't know what that means. Oh, this is hard. Oh, it's scary. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. She didn't answer. I might have to go knock on her door. Oh, I can't do it. This is as far as I can go. But I can't reach her. What do I need Beth to do? Reach out, come part way. I need Beth to build a bridge. Build your bridge, Beth. Do you need help? Yeah. Here. Oh. I got to Beth's house. I still don't like chocolate ice cream, but I really like your dress. Thank you. I'm gonna go back to my comfort zone because that was really hard. Sometimes building bridges is scary, and it's hard, and it doesn't always go as planned. But we have to take the first step if we're ever going to learn.
Thank you, Dory.
Thank you.
All right, nice work. Woo. Good that we have workers' comp in case anything had happened here. All right, so please in the front row, if you can rise, and the rest of you help us do the choreography as we sing May Our Minds Be Open. May our minds be open to learning. May our lips bring truth into the world. May our hearts know love and our hands do the work of justice as we go our way in peace. As we go our way in peace. May our minds be open to learning. May our lips bring truth into the world. May our hearts know love and our hands do the work of justice as we go our way in peace. As we go our way in We now turn to the joys and the sorrows we carry individually and as a community. Will you take a breath with me? As we surrender to this moment, let us notice our body resting, grounded, supported by the earth. And as the piano begins to play, you're invited to come forward, light a candle or place a stone at the table to your right, or add a note to the Holding Our Grief wheel. Today's joys and sorrows we will hold in silence with no public sharing at the microphone. Now invite Donna to light one more candle on behalf of those who are not with us today or who chose to remain seated. Whether your joys or sorrows have been named or remain in the silence of your heart, know that you are not alone. May we hold our earth in our hearts with joy in her nature, in awe of her majesty, power, and resilience, taking responsibility for the hurts that we have caused her. Will you take another breath with me? This week we hold in love Melissa Bennett. Please join me now in our musical meditation, Fear Not the Pain. Rabbi Sharon Brous, in her book, The Amen Effect, tells about her oldest daughter, Eva, and how she went on a class trip to Poland during her senior year in high school. Her group went to see the death camps and killing fields where many of the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust were murdered. She called her mom one day in tears. "I don't want to be too empathetic towards the Nazis," she said, "but I can't stop wondering, how could a parent, someone with his own wife and children at home, pull infants out of their mother's arms and throw them into the gas chambers? How could they do it?" Brous heard in her daughter's voice a desperate searching. She was not looking to justify atrocities, but to extend her own understanding, to deepen her humanity. She was curious. Brous is clear that these are exactly the questions I want my children to wrestle with. When someone engages in deeply inhumane behavior, we start to think of them as not human. We call them monsters, and we stop wondering what makes it possible for a person, somebody's child, parent, or lover, to perpetuate an act of cruelty or violence. Instead, they become some otherworldly creature, an anomaly. This is a form of self-protection, but at its heart, it's denialism, she writes. It frees us from seeing that there can be cruelty in us, too. And it keeps us from actually addressing the societal factors that make it possible for people to perpetrate terrible acts of violence. I invite the choir to come forward. Until Love is Spoken by Karen Morali. Building bridges is our theme for the year. We've added the goal to our congregation's end statements. We sing about it, as we did earlier, and I seem to make it a topic of conversation in just about every context I can think of. For example, I bring it up as something to focus on during our monthly interfaith meetings with the Concord chapter of the Granite State Organizing Project. So far, the people around the table represent the same groups and values I see and hear whenever I show up in the liberal, progressive spaces that make up my echo chamber of friends and professional relationships. The goal of the Granite State Organizing Project is to develop relationships first by listening to what matters in our lives and communities, and then create a wide circle of relationships that can represent a broad range of people and stakeholders. And then, when a local issue arises that we all care about, to use our collective power to guide and influence the decisions that need to be made. I love the model because it rightly assumes that there are issues we have the agency to shape if we bring people together who might not agree on everything else. Local issues manageable and understandable by local people. And yet we struggle to widen the circle around the table. Most of us don't have deep or even any relationships with others who do not share our values or positions on national issues. We keep brainstorming about how to move out of our echo chamber, and I remain hopeful, yet I've held back advocating for our congregation to officially join the Concord chapter until it actually becomes a vehicle for building bridges rather than another silo of like-minded people wishing others would think differently, yet unwilling or unable to listen to those with different perspectives. I've made a similar case in my various UU clergy groups and my local shop circle that I joined as a means to resist totalitarianism as it emerges and takes hold of our institutions. Most of my conversations with college friends eventually take a turn towards building bridges of one kind or another, and I have preached on the notion a number of times already. I truly believe that we will remain stuck on the path of social division, societal division. All right, I'll try this again, as I like the alliteration that's coming up. I truly believe that we will remain stuck on the path of societal division, derision, and demonizing. All right, thank you. I should have practiced this more. Societal division, derision, and demonizing that is tearing us apart until we learn and commit to building compassionate bridges, until we learn to be present to each other with curiosity rather than animosity when different opinions and values surface, until we are willing to communicate respectfully and with compassion, especially when the other holds a different view of the truth. This is super hard work. It takes serious practice. And it begins with an awareness that we may not be nearly as open-minded as we like ourselves to imagine to be. And open-mindedness is not about letting go of what we believe. It is about how gently we hold that belief. It is about a posture of receptivity, of humility and curiosity, a way of holding our beliefs with enough lightness that we can encounter another's without fear. Open-mindedness involves recognizing that our own perspective is limited, no matter how well-informed or sincere it may be. It means being able to say, I just might be wrong, and I may not have the whole picture. And not to be confused with our ability to say, you might be wrong, or you might not have the whole picture. That's the easy one, right? The opposite of open-mindedness isn't certainty, it's arrogance disguised as truth. The opposite of open-mindedness isn't certainty, it is arrogance disguised as truth. I know none of this applies to you here, or me, maybe. Open-mindedness implies a genuine interest in why others see the world the way they do, not just proving them wrong, and asking questions like, can you tell me more about that? And what experiences in your life shaped that belief that you're holding? And then do some deep listening, perhaps reflecting back what you heard until the other confirms that you seem to have understood. I hear you. You listen. We listen. We hear you. Complete with heart and mind. It means treating conversations as opportunities to learn, not to win. Open-minded people are able to tolerate discomfort when encountering ideas that challenge them. They pause rather than react, making space for reflection rather than escalation. They recognize defensiveness as a signal in themselves to listen more deeply, not to shut down. They know that different perspectives can coexist without erasing each other. As our children leave each Sunday, we sing, "May our minds be open to new learning." The lyrics suggest a willingness to update or refine our own beliefs in light of new evidence, insight, or lived experience. They suggest a flexibility of thought, allowing for multiple truths to be held in creative tension. Open-mindedness means we create spaces where others feel safe enough to be honest. Others who hold different opinions than our own. And perhaps most fundamentally, open-mindedness is rooted in the conviction that people are more than their opinions, and that growth and connection are always possible. This is hard to do, I know. Can we reach for that? The conviction that people are more than their opinions and that growth and connection are always possible. It trusts that respectful engagement can transform understanding over time. It means seeing bridges where others see walls. Ibo Patel, founder and president of the Interfaith America, in his 2022 book, "We Need to Build Field Notes for Diverse Democracy," writes, "I view Bryan Stevenson as the single most significant social change agent in America today. Bryan Stevenson is the executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, the engine behind the National Lynching Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama. Patel observes that Stevenson works on the most divisive issues in our national life, the legacy of lynching, the racism that runs through the bloodstream of our criminal justice system, the disgrace of the death penalty. And somehow he makes them feel almost uncontroversial, as if there are no enemies to defeat, only a widening camp of those climbing the mountain to the summit of justice. He thinks in systems, but communicates most through deeply affecting stories about individuals. He weaves beautifully complex meta-narratives, and yet it never feels like he's talking over your head. He comes across as utterly humble and is still charismatic enough to be the central figure of a Hollywood movie. How many of you have seen Just Mercy, right, where he was played by Michael B. Jordan? If you haven't seen it, please go see that film. just mercy. The closest I have come to meeting Brian Stevenson personally is during our UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly's Ware Lecture in 2017. He was remarkable. So when our youth group nudged me to organize another trip with them this year, I was excited by the reaction I got when I suggested we head down south. I suggested we go to Mississippi and Alabama to experience the National Lynching Museum in person, to walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, to see the 16th Street Baptist Church and Kelly Ingram Park in Birmingham. It isn't set in stone, but hopefully over April break, a group of our youth here from New Hampshire will be crossing a bridge into an unfamiliar territory, learning about our civil rights history in a tangible way. And it is my hope that we will also get a chance to interact with people who may hold very different perspectives and views. Our goal for this year, as the youth group explores how to hold and build bridges, is to practice open-mindedness first in New Hampshire and then in Alabama and Mississippi. The vision is to practice finding humanity before opinion, to practice finding what unites us before we get consumed by what divides us. We will observe how Braver Angels organizes their events, perhaps organize a Braver Angel-style event ourselves. And it may involve you, adults here in the congregation, provided you are willing and able to practice open-mindedness with people who hold diverse opinions. If you're not yet aware of Braver Angels, check out the link on our online order of service and resources page. Braver Angels is the nation's largest cross-partisan, volunteer-led movement to bridge the partisan divide and strengthen our democratic republic. I joined Braver Angels almost a year ago, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed with myself. Despite great intentions and much lip service paid to the importance of building bridges, I have pretty much failed completely in actually building anything tangible and of substance. I've stayed on the sidelines looking in from the outside, all while nudging others to take the plunge. Good job, Michael. David Brooks likes to say that social change happens when some people find a better way to live and other people start to copy them. Well, nothing to copy here so far. I don't have my own story to tell you of how bridge building really works when in the room where it happens. So for the time being, I do what many ministers do. I preach the sermon I most need to hear myself. And I tell inspiring stories, other people's stories. And here's one as shared again by Rabbi Sharon Brous from her wonderful book, The Amen Effect. She writes, "It's the day after the 2015 Jerusalem Pride Parade. A religious zealot has brutally stabbed Shira Bunky, a 16-year-old LGBTQ ally. She lies in the hospital in critical condition. We don't know it yet at the time, but Shira will succumb to her wounds a few days later. One of my congregants," she writes, Hannah, "was standing only about 10 feet away when it happened. Hannah grew up in an Orthodox Jewish family, and her own coming out was a painful journey of courage and resilience. She was in Israel for a relative's bat mitzvah, and had been at the parade with her wife, Kathleen. Now Hannah walks into Shabbat dinner, still reeling from the violence she witnessed the day before. And by chance, seated across the table from Hannah is Asher, a 20-year-old friend of the family. Hannah has heard that Asher has been radicalized during the past few years. He's part of a movement of extremists with competing rap sheets for acts of vandalism and violence against both the lefties and Palestinians. A crew that's more outraged by the Pride Parade, in their view, a threat to the sanctity of the holy city, than even the stabbing of a child. At first, Hannah is sick to even sit in such close proximity to this person. But as the meal progresses, she finds herself growing increasingly curious. Who is he, really? I mean, how could a person hold such views? Does he really believe them? Can he even see her there, right here, across the table? Curiosity is the birthplace of compassion, Browse writes. But the greater the psychological distance between us and the other, the less curiosity we are about one another, the less curious we are about each other. When we don't wonder what the other is thinking or feeling, or where the pain comes from, when we don't interrogate our presuppositions, our hearts close to one another. And it is precisely now when our instinct is to recoil from one another that the need for an ethos of sensitive, sincere encounter is vital and urgent, and not only for us as individuals, as families and communities, but for our society. She pleads that we need a spiritual rewiring that enables us to see one another in our pain and in our fear, in our joy and in our yearning, in our humanity. It's what she's been calling throughout her book, the Amen Effect. These are repeated, ritualized encounters with the other, designed to train our hearts to see that we are all bound up in one another. Knowing another person's or community's struggles, in fact, may be the only way to bring about real social change. Brian Stevenson of Just Mercy fame writes about the need to get proximate to those who are suffering. The need to get proximate to those who are suffering. We can't solve problems or build bridges from a distance, or only when we're in relationship can we hear things we wouldn't otherwise hear, be exposed to ideas and contexts we wouldn't otherwise consider. As Stevenson says, there is power when we get proximate. Only then can we have mercy and compassion. Let us return to Hannah and Asher seated across from one another, one having just witnessed up close a murderous hate crime, and the other an extremist whose sympathies lie more with the perpetrator than the victim. Hannah doesn't speak, but she stays at the table for hours, fighting to hold curiosity over antipathy. I keep staring at him surreptitiously, she tells Browse later. I'm trying to bore a hole into his head to get some clarity on what makes him tick, what makes him hate. As a gay Jew from the Orthodox world, she explains she's had to live with contradictions her whole life. So she has a fairly high threshold for discomfort. Even still, Browse writes, Hannah is burning with the desire to do something, to say something. Finally, she stands up, not to speak to Asher directly, but to address the room. She turns to the bat mitzvah girl. You live in a time and place of great brokenness, she says, choosing each word carefully. Every day, there are more and more stories happening right here in this country, and hate crimes, retaliations, racism, sexism, senseless hatred. These are real struggles, real challenges. Keep your eyes and ears, and most of all, your heart open as you go through life, and don't ever lose your voice. A week later, Asher reaches out to Hannah's family. The bat mitzvah has turned him upside down. He's really struggling. He spent Shabbat with a lesbian. He tells them that he keeps asking himself, would I have wanted anything to happen to Hannah? And he realizes, absolutely not. And that's that. Something has changed in him. Suddenly he sees that rhetoric has consequences, that there's no justification for hatred, that violence is not the answer. 3 years later, when Asher shows up at the Pride Parade in Jerusalem, it's not to protest, but to join the march. And the following year, he's back again, this time with his baby in a stroller and a rainbow sign that says, hate kills, love is the only answer. What I accomplished, Hannah reflects years later, was simply not walking away. It's hard to stay at the table, but if we walk away from each other, nothing will ever get better. Not every story will have this kind of happy ending, and yet may we each find the compassion in our own hearts to consider following Hannah's example, risking uncomfort, discomfort, and uncertainty as we tap into the courage to build or rebuild bridges across the many divisions in our nation's hearts. May it be so. Amen and Ashe. Thank you for your generous support of last week's outreach offering to support the UU Friends of Refugees program here at church. Today's community plate will support the Granite State Children's Alliance, which helps coordinate child abuse investigations and provides ongoing support for victims and families. Their services include critical care coordination, referrals for behavioral health and specialized medical exams. Granite State Children's Alliance also provides education on recognizing signs of abuse. The Alliance operates 4 child advocacy centers that serve children in Belknap, Cheshire, Hillsborough counties. They also serve as the New Hampshire chapter of the National Children's Alliance, providing technical assistance, training, and organization resources to all centers in New Hampshire. Our morning offering will now be gratefully received. May we be transformed by our giving. May the world be transformed by our gifts. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 1017 in our teal hymnals, Building a New Way. Go out into the world in peace. Honor one another. Listen with that open-minded heart of yours. Stay curious. Have courage. Be kind. Embrace the mystery. Welcome awe. And yes, live always the way of love. And I invite you to extinguish your chalice at home as Jim extinguishes our chalice here in the sanctuary. Please join me in reading aloud the words on our screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of this faith we share, the warmth of community or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Now please join me in singing our unison benediction. If you're comfortable joining hands or elbows, go ahead and reach out. And if not, reach out with your heart to all of us, worshiping with you, knowing that you are not alone.